blockbuster film, I think some of you may have heard of it, Lord of the Rings. And Faramir really became one of those characters that I think a lot of people related to on a deeper level than some of the other characters, because I think being the kind of second brother and second child who's kind of like tossed to the side, I think a lot of people could relate to that. Have you found that in like fan interactions, that people are just like, I was the Faramir of my family?
A number of times, actually. Yeah, a number of times. People can. Yeah, a lot of people can relate, especially if they, another sibling who has, they feel as though they haven't been treated as an equal. I've heard it a lot, but I had a really moving interaction with somebody a little while ago. I've just finished doing a show in Australia, and bizarrely, The Odyssey is out at the moment on screen. And I've just finished doing a one-man show called An Iliad, and it's basically, I play a character who essentially tells the story of the Iliad, and I play all the characters in the Iliad. And it ended up being a huge success, and I will tour it next year and probably the year after. But anyway, when I came out after a performance one evening, there was a young girl there who I didn't know how old she was. I couldn't quite work out whether she was a teenager or 20. She was like a wayfish girl, and she was shaking. And she came up to me and she gave me a little notebook and she said, look, can you sign this? She said, I'm from Ukraine and my father and my brother are fighting on the front lines at the moment, and your character in Lord of the Rings was the inspiration for my brother. And she asked if I would sign something for him. And so then I wrote him a little note and gave it to her, and off she went. And I asked her how long, this was in Australia, I said, how long have you been here? And she said, a year. And she'd obviously come out and stayed with the family during that terrible time. And she said, but I'm going back to Ukraine next week. And so I signed this thing for a brother, and then she was going back to Ukraine. And I think about her so often. But the fact that that character of Faramir was an inspiration for somebody in such a hideous situation on the other side of the world.